about one of my favorite videos that just came out that one of my commenters sent me. A Brad Mills did a wonderful video of me, kind of a music video that is just awesome. Uh, in my earlier days, I had a couple rock bands, and I always wanted a music video of my own, but it never happened. Now it has. So have a listen. Remember, at the end of the video, make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the future. Always grateful for the people that are donating down below. Check out my new Patreon page. And remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the future. Very good. Not a scam, go buy some cartel. Don't want us to ride in the streets. Buy that Bitcoin cryptocurrency. See you in the future, very good. Not a scam, go buy some cartel. Don't want us to ride in the streets. Buy that Bitcoin cryptocurrency. What's the point of putting your money into it if it's not gonna last? Always ask. There's many competing for world dominance. I believe China has all the cash. Today we're talking about OID coin. Today we're talking about Theta coin. Today we're talking about chip chain coin. If you wanna know how much blood, see you in the future, very good. Not a scam, go buy some cartel. Don't want us to ride in the streets. Buy that Bitcoin cryptocurrency. It came up as a scam of some sort. Token that's trying to change the world. One thing I don't think I mentioned, they'd start with good intentions. Today we're talking about Matic coin. Today we're talking about Elrond coin. Today we're talking about Aeon coin. If you want to know how much blood, see you in the future, very good. Not a scam, go buy some cartel. Don't want us to ride in the streets. Buy that Bitcoin cryptocurrency.
See you in the future, very good.
Subscribe.
Not a scam, go buy some cartel.
Subscribe.
See you in the future, very good.
Subscribe.
Not a scam, go buy some cartel.
Is this gonna last that 10-year mark? In short time, it came up in the cards. Tracking goods from point A to point B. New cycle with cryptocurrencies. Because it's fairly unknown to the majority of people on the planet Earth. Most people barely know what an Ethereum is. Hi, this is Greens by Andre, where I do predictions of the future. If you'd like me to do prediction for you, let me know in the comments below. I'm hoping that video pumps up that Cardano. And this was, for the people that weren't here last show, this is a video somebody made for me that was part of one of my big fans. Skinner, I believe, is at the end of the video. And did an awesome job. So let's get started I forgot the other part of my intro. Make sure do lives here on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m. Central and Saturdays and Sundays at 10 a.m. Central. So make sure you mark down your calendar and let's get into it. Are we still going down in cryptos? Yep. We'll get to that We got some people that had asked questions prior to the show, so let's get into those. Today's main topic today is the interest rates. Okay, so if you've been listening to the news, the financial news at all, we know that the Federal Reserve and now the Canadian banking system is upping the interest rates to hopefully battle recession. I don't think it's going to work. Just saying. So let's throw some cards down, see what's going on with those interest rates. I know today, our famous Jean, or not Sean, that's another politician, the Trudeau in his cabinet, we're talking about getting about $7.5 billion to help the recession. Okay. And of course, 7.5 billion is not really going to be doing anything for the Canadian economy. Even here, we're seeing gas about $2 to $3 per gallon here, which is roughly about $1 something American. So let's look into the interest rate and what is going to be happening worldwide. Okay. Well, there's probably little areas of the planet that aren't going to be affected, but the majority of the planet is going to be affected by everything that's going on right now. So throw down those cards. Some interesting cards here. Anyways, so the health of this situation of increasing the interest rates, like the Federal Reserve has just done not that long ago, it seems that the health of it is mostly smoke and mirrors. They do not know how to fix the situation. They're saying that they're trying to halt the recession, or which may be going into a depression. Remember, I've been saying this for quite some time, and this is when the old currency system starts to buckle. This is when the old, well, not old, but cryptocurrency system is going to pump like crazy, and that's coming up very, very soon. I see some of the questions in the comment section. Don't worry about those cryptocurrencies. Right now, they're correlated with the old system. I think that's going to be changing very, very, very soon. Okay, when everything comes about. Okay. Let's see. So the health, of course, they can't hold it back. It's inevitable. Um, it is something that they cannot stop or cure with any band-aid situation. The only way they can get things going is to get everybody moving and stop all the nonsense behind the scenes to get our economy rolling. But because of all the people not working for quite some time, and there's a lot of job opportunities out there at the moment, it's especially here in Winnipeg that we have job postings everywhere, but people are so inclined to stay at home, okay, for the moment because they're getting paid by Trudeau's government to stay home for the last little while. And this has been a huge disruption to everybody's economy. I think this is happening all over the place. Um, Plus, there's the other situation of lack of employees because of, okay, I'm not going to go too far into that. There has been some reports that have been coming out that because there's so many job opportunities, probably could be a very good indicator of um, people not being with us anymore because of, so moving forward, so the financial part of this whole ball of wax, uh, this means we're going to be having to redo everything ourselves, and get more government out of the way. Okay, because we got the good old tower card. Okay, everything falling apart, lightning hitting the top, and everybody jumping to safety or jumping out of the windows for some reason. So this is going to be a very difficult time once they've been doing this. It, of course, we've already stated that it's not going to be working, and the time frame is still around that harvest time when everything really starts to be noticeable. I think I saw somebody on the when. Okay, so it's about that harvest time, August, September, October, somewhere in there, and we're going to start to see everything really coming to a head at that moment in time. Um, Also, the people that are going to be getting rid of the old governments around the planet and bringing in new government, just because it's it's inevitable. Okay, so wait for it. The interest rates are going to be going up, and the banks are going to be yelling at the politicians. And now we're going to see a little bit. We're seeing that right now here in Canada, where the banking industry, Canadian banks, are arguing with Trudeau, and I think it's going to be starting to come to blows uh, politically, and a whole bunch of lawyers running around doing things. So expect more of that worldwide. Okay, so prepare yourself. Don't panic. This is not to start to cause a panic with everybody, but just make sure you have things put away for a rainy day, like food and other provisions, because prices are going to go sky high a little after. They're getting sky high now, but you haven't seen anything yet. Okay, and they're going to get much, much worse. So just prepare, get a buddy system, start community, and we can get through this. Okay, let's get on to the next thing. Now, somebody asking the question about Prince in the afterlife. Uh, I'm not mediumistic, so I can't really talk to anyone on the other side. But yeah, Prince is there, and he seems to be doing just fine. What I'm picking up, uh, I'm assuming it's the artist, the musician Prince, not some, yeah, some royals here. Anyways, let's throw some cards down, see how he's doing. Uh, More likely, he's just fine, doing doing the thing on the other side. Great video if you're wanting to do a little bit of research on the afterlife and what it is like there. It's a movie called Our Home. Okay, it's the person who wrote it is Chico Xavier, which was a medium out of Brazil, I believe. Look him up. He got some super duper stuff that if you can get your hands on these movies, he goes into great detail. He um, use, uses mediumship and writes out books. He did tons and tons of books when he was alive. So look those up and look for that movie. Okay. And it really describes what the afterlife is actually like, what the information that he was given to him by spirit. So Prince in the afterlife. It seems that he's on. There's no heaven or hell and all that nonsense, but there is a place where you're away from spirit because you're basically ignoring that situation. Um, so you're willfully trying not to become part of light. And there's these creatures that are rescuers. Okay. Okay, they try to come and they heal you and bring you to the rest of the society that's on the other side. There's no religion on the other side because everything is God. Okay, so get that movie. It's awesome stuff. So Prince, he's he's gone fully to the other side. He hasn't been denying the light of the other side, and he's a full participant within that society. I believe I'm picking up that he's actually going through the Great Library, which is on the other side, and gaining knowledge for when he comes back. Okay, and trying to figure out what he wants to do when he gets back here in his next lifetime. So Prince, he's doing his thing. Um, I think he's just fine. Okay, thank you for that question. Very interesting question. ENS token. Okay, let's look at that. So ENS token. It seems that the health of it is seems to be very good. There was a moment in time where they were hung up on many of the things that how to move forward with the project itself. I think they figured that out, but I don't think they have the means to move forward in any great way for quite some time. It seems that the money system has been really collapsing, and I think it's going to be very detrimental to this token. Uh, because we got the Tower card and the Five of Pentacles, which is telling me that it may not survive much longer than the 2 to 3 years from today because of everything else that's going on at the moment. Okay. Um, the people associated with this one are having a lot of hard time. There's going to be some little victories and emotional victories, but overall, I don't think they're going to be able to move it forward the way they need it to in the next year or so. Um, and it might be changing gears in some fashion to keep ahead of everything else. But I don't think they got the willpower to move that project forward in any great way, unfortunately. What else we got here? Uh, yeah, they got some good ideas, but I don't think they have the means to move that project forward in any great way. Okay, thank you for that question. AI. Now, I don't see him here today. You gave me a last minute message on my Skype about your reading on AI. A lot of talk about artificial intelligence out there. Is it going to be taking over the world? Are they going to be doing the Terminator thing and doing all that sort of thing, taking over our jobs and all that sort of thing? So let's just have a quick look at AI in the next little while. I don't think it's quite there yet. Artificial intelligence. It does help programmers gain information about us in a quicker, more efficient fashion, but I don't think it has any sentience like we do. The only thing they would have is what they're programmed with. I don't think they have quite the means to learn like we do. The only ways they can program themselves is by us programming them at the moment, okay, at right now. So let's have a look a little further down the field and see if they do get sentience. And of course, they wouldn't have emotions, so they wouldn't have anger and all that sort of thing. to do nasty things to us, because when people do nasty things, it's usually based on emotion, not logic. Okay? So the sentience down the road, I don't think it's going to be quite the thing for many, many years, probably 4 or 5 generations from today. So us today will not have any situations of that. And when they do reach that level of um, complexity, I don't think they're going to be doing anything against us, because that would be an emotional thing. Okay. The only thing that they would have is anything that's programmed into them, and that can always be changed. Okay. As long as we keep an off switch somewhere, hopefully the idiots that program these things have an off switch in case it turns on us or them, somewhere that they can't, the AI can't do anything to it. Uh, and hopefully they're smart enough to have an off switch in some way. Uh, I don't think they're going to be because of emotion. Okay. Um, it would be pure logic if they become sentient, and they would probably overwrite many of the emotional parts of that they're trying to program in that time period. I don't see them as a hindrance. I see them more as a help overall, because they can do calculations much quicker than we do. But it still takes us to repair them and program them and upkeep them. Um, it'll won't be an issue for quite some time. Not like they're saying that it's an issue now. Okay, AI, artificial intelligence, needs to go much much further than what it is today. We're not quite there to the Terminator part of things for a long, long, long time. Okay, so interesting thing to look at. Nothing that we really need to worry about. Yeah. Okay. Aliens on the moon. Okay. AI committing suicide. Maybe. But that's an emotional thing, not a logical thing. We'd have to uh, put emotions into them, which I don't think they can do for quite some time. Um, aliens on the moon. And this is last show I was mentioning that yes, we were on the moon. And the reasons we haven't gone back there is probably because of this. They told us go away, pretty much, because of the structures and everything that they found on the moon and Mars. Since we put that uh, many Mars rovers on Mars, of course, taking pictures, they found many structures on Mars and the moon. So, so the aliens there, I think, are not really hostile. They're more of a protection for us against the other aliens that are not so nice. There are tons of different types of aliens that visit us. Some are good and some aren't. And I believe the ones that are on the moon are the ones that are protecting us from the ones that aren't so nice and are trying to do many things against us. Many of those aliens are here on Earth. Okay. So, and I think Cliff High calls them the bugs, because they're very alien in their thinking. They don't really have the emotional state that we do. They're more developed emotionally, and intelligence. So they would have something that will they'll study us, but the good ones will not interfere with many of our development unless there's an opposing force coming against us, and that's what they're for on the moon, is to protect us from other aliens that are out there. And that's pretty much why we haven't been back to the moon for quite some time, because we were told to get lost until we're actually ready to become part of the galaxy community going forward. Um, and in that time, we're going to be making partnerships. Um, we've already made partnerships with them, the good ones. And unfortunately, most of our governments are following the bad ones and doing nasty things against the people on their recommendation. So, yeah, there are aliens on the moon. They do have structures, and they are also on Mars as well. Okay, interesting look at aliens on the moon. Brad, I feel, will there be more account freezes by exchanges when crypto plummets later this year? They will then issue their own token in lieu of the lost crypto funds, akin to bank bail-ins. Card pull, please. Uh, Freezes by exchanges. Well, first of all, you should never have your crypto on an exchange. You buy it there, you put it on your trezor. Number one, in case something like this does happen. Buying new cryptocurrencies, you get them from in the exchange, and you get it off of there. Okay, so will they have bank bail-ins and all this sort of thing? Let's have a look. So for those who don't take their cryptos off the exchanges, never do that unless you're in the middle of a trade or you're doing something with it. The health of that situation, I think, is more confusion than anything else. It's something that they would try not to do, especially the bigger cryptocurrency exchanges like Binance, or what's the name of it? Like a lobster, Kraken. That's it. I don't think they would actually do that because they have the funding behind them to facilitate many of the things, and they want everything to move over to cryptocurrencies and not to the old banking system. Okay, what we're seeing right now with collapses of some of the other places is because they've been leveraging people's money and doing bad deals behind the scenes. Okay, and when the thing plummeted, they have to finance your losses, and they take people's money and they pay off their bills and sell off their positions, and you're stuck with nothing. This is why you never leave your money or cryptos on an exchange. Never. So, next part, the financial part of this question. Um, the bigger ones are just fine. They will facilitate if you've left your cryptos on an exchange for whatever reason, and they would you'd be able to get your cryptos out of there with very little problem. For some of the smaller ones, I can see big issues with that. The people associated with this behavior, I think, is many, but not. I don't think the bigger exchanges are part of that. It'd be more of the smaller exchanges. So again, don't leave your cryptos on an exchange because of this nonsense going on. Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, super little guy. Celsius has some explaining to do, and that is the one place, or there's several of them, that was using your cryptos to fund other things and leveraging it. And then when the market fell, ta-da! All your crypto's gone. What is that? That TV show, and it's gone. Super Whittle Guy, how you doing? Crazy part is in the U.S. the median house price is 400,000. I think super high, but new home sales keep going down. Interesting. Wondering when the bubble will pop. Hmm. Well, we already kind of explained. It's coming very soon. Yeah, South Park. Thank you. That's where that little thing I was talking about earlier. I think it's going to be a little after the harvest comes in. We're going to really start to see that ramping up and things starting to fall apart. When you can't get your money from your job because you lost it because everything is overpriced and now they have to get rid of employees. Now you can't pay for your rent and your house and blah, 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 blah. This is when you're going to see everything start to collapse, including the housing market. In the US, they don't have protections, just like last time. We told Canada told them to get some protection, but they didn't. Kind of the Wild West in the United States. Here in Canada, we have I forget the name, an insurance system to help the banking system with a housing collapse. And that's basically what happened back in 2008. That's why we fared a little bit better than much of the rest of the world that didn't have insurances like last time. So it is going to be happening very, very soon. So enjoy the summer. After summer, it's not going to be so pleasant. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. Theta, please. I was actually looking at Theta TV the other day, trying to figure it out because now they have a way of putting videos on there. I haven't had the time to really look into that. It'd be nice to actually get involved with the Theta. So, just another place for my videos. Anyways, let's look at the Theta. It's a favorite of many psychics and people promoting Theta. So, seems that the health is okay. They're like everything else. They're having their hard time. And people are going to be walking away from it for a little while because of everything that's. I noticed when I was going through the website for Theta TV that they're having some issues in the background like they had before. Getting everything working. I think they've straightened out much of the back end for Theta TV, which affects the cryptocurrency. And what's the other cryptocurrency that you can earn? T-Fuel, I think, is the other one. For people like myself who create content for everybody to watch. So there's some issues going on there. And I think some of the people that were wanting to put their videos on there are kind of leaving because not much of an audience there yet. But that will change very, very soon. The price is going to be a little lackluster for the next little while, but I think they're going to be pulling out of that once they make some new partnerships and getting things, partnerships like somewhere along the lines of Netflix and many of those other streaming things going on with them. The people that are involved with it, it's going to be a longer journey than they had expected. That's probably why some people have left. But the confusion that they had in the past is now subsided, and they know how to move forward with the project. They just got to fix all the things for the um, content creators like myself to put things on there um, and make it worthwhile for everybody. So I don't see any problems overall. It's just a bit of a bumpy road in the next little while, and that price will rise with when the Bitcoin starts to go up very very soon. Okay, thank you for that question. Oh, a non-crypto question. Trying to get flights to Australia on the dates and price I want. Will I get them? It's a good thing you're not a Canadian. Or you well, we here's the thing in Canada. We could fly anywhere if you don't have the cookies. You just can't drive over the border. Does that make sense? And now the border, the provinces and states that are along the border are now screaming at Trudeau to knock it off. So he's got pressure from them. So he's going to be caving very soon on that as well. So it's not doing so well, that Trudeau. But let's look at Australia. Getting back to Australia. So we got the Ace of Pentacles, which is a big yes. You're going to be getting fairly good prices for the times that you need. Make sure you get them in as soon as possible. Don't wait on it. And there's going to be a nice lady on the other end. I don't know why I picked that up. That's going to be helping you out through that process. Okay? So have a happy trip. Here we go. Will the recent opening of travel in Canada to everybody be reversed later this year? Off the top of my head is no. Because now this is something that I had described many shows ago, where the only reason Trudeau is going to be changing many of the things that he's put into place to be the little commie that he is pressure from companies. Okay, and this is what we're starting to see from the big companies going, hey, you're hurting our bottom line. Okay, here's a bunch of lawyers to explain it to you. And this is basically what's going to be happening in the next little while. These places have their own lawyers that aren't paid off. Okay, so he's going to have a wonderful time with a bunch of lawyers. Now we're seeing places like Walmart, which I used to work for many years ago, and they have lawyers. Lots and lots of lawyers. If you hurt their bottom line from your stuff, here's a bunch of lawyers to explain it to you why you should be stopping what you're doing. So, this question that you're having, no. And it's not because Trudeau wants that to be, it's because he's getting pressure from lawyers and it's starting to get really expensive for him. And it might make him end up in the, very, very soon. Okay, thank you for that. Could you please ask the cards if I should pay my debt or get my money out of the banks? Okay. A little of both. Okay. Depending where you want to put it. Always, well, at this moment, if you have the means, pay off your debts. Okay. And then get into restructuring your financial day-to-day thing. You can live off of crypto, right? You can get paid in crypto, and you can pay your bills in crypto if you want to go that route. But before the big collapse, it'd probably be best to pay off your debt because you're not under this huge weight of debt. Okay? That's why me and the wife try to get rid of all of our debt before the time because you don't want to be with that and all the other things that are going to be going on. Okay, so let's throw some cards down just to make sure. So, yeah, it's basically backing up what I had just said, pay off their debts, and then if you have the means to do it as soon as possible, you should always try to be out of debt as much as you can, anyways. And that is sound financial advice that you get from anybody. And then think of your new banking system if need be. Okay, depending where you are in the world, it may be very beneficial to go to crypto. Okay, we got the Sun card that goes along with that. Just saying, yeah, pretty much on the right trend. And doing everything with crypto can be a bit of a pain in the ass since everybody's used to the banking system doing everything for you, automatic transfers and automatic bill payments. You'd have to do that yourself. Okay, but it can be done. Okay, thank you for that question. If Tijuana and Mexico in general will ever fix cartel violence problems? Huh. I already picked it up. It's no. Because the Tijuana and Mexico government makes too much money from the cartel and violence. Let's throw some cards down along with that. You have to remember, politicians are like one step away from the cartel, usually. It's pretty much saying the same thing I said. I don't think they're going to be getting rid of that. Cartel issues, if you're visiting there, wouldn't be a huge problem. As long as you stay out of their way, you're golden if you're a visitor there. Because that's how they make their money. Well, one of the things. And if the government should try to do that, it'd be no longer a government. Okay, there's many reasons that the Mexican government is so polite because they don't want to from the cartel. Okay, they could try, but I don't think they would ever succeed. Okay, thank you for that question. World Economic Forum. They're having a hard time right now, which is nice. It's nice to watch as all their plans kind of fall flat on their face. If you keep watching, Trudeau is part of that club with the Charles Schwab and many of the other politicians. Those politicians seem to be failing right now. Anyone who's been following Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum have been failing. Macron from France is having a good time too, since many of the people that are underneath him are telling him no more of this baloney and are going back on many of the agreements that Macron had with the rest of Parliament in France. So he's having a good time, and a lot of that is starting to fail. Good. Get rid of these turkeys. We got that Three of Swords. Okay, which is your goal. Well, it's their goal, and them, and something's coming in between that, and that's basically the people figuring things out and changing the tables on them. And we're going to be making new partnerships with other entities that will help us through this. Okay. Thank you for that question. How low will Litecoin's price go before it rockets upwards? When do you see that happening? August? Yes. In that time period where my wife had the prediction of $3,500 in for Litecoin, I think she may be correct. It's one of the few cryptocurrencies that has not really been affected by a lot of this nonsense that Celsius and all of them have been doing in background. And it was interesting. It was one of the few cryptocurrencies that was pumping a little bit while everything else was dropping. So it will do well. I think in August it's going to start to pump up, not to that 3,500, but it's going to start to climb rapidly in that time period. Maybe around Christmas, I think the cryptos. It's going to be a nice Christmas for crypto holders. It won't be explosive, but we're going to have a nice, steady increase in cryptocurrencies at that moment. Okay. So yeah, August. Thank you for that. Bean Cash, will it hit 50 cents in 2023? It's still around, Bean Cash? Wow. We had a big meeting or something like that on Bean Cash. That was a couple years ago, actually. I think I even have it. Did I get a t-shirt?
Yeah.
I got an actual t-shirt with the Bean Cash logo and all that. So I don't think it fits too well. I've gained a couple pounds since then. It's a little tight, but I do have it in my closet.
The shirt shrank.
The shirt shrank.
Yeah.
So will it reach that 50 cents? It's going to move forward, but it's not going to reach that amount of money, that price point in that time period. I think it's going to be one of the survivors. It has some good programming behind it. It's nothing wrong with it. Overall, its concept is cool. You can make beans every day with some process. It was one of the first ones to have kind of a DeFi type of thing where you can earn beans daily by keeping your beans in a bean wallet sort of thing. But I don't think it's going to be reaching that amount of money in that time period. It can, it just won't be in that time period. Okay. And I should dig out my old Bean Cash shirt. Maybe wear it for a show. So, so thank you for that question. Is the Indian stock market affected by the U.S.? I read that in an article. Not sure if it was true. India is in a strange place where it kind of walks the line between the two superpowers. They're very good friends with Russia, and they've been doing a lot of trade with Russia, even through all this stuff that's going on with Russia. Russia, even now with all the sanctions, are doing better than many of the other countries. Interesting. Well, everybody's going to get affected by the U.S. And what they're doing, because they are a huge world power and they are the money system. But I don't think as badly as other countries that rely heavily on the U.S. I think India is going to be switching their fiat currency into a gold-backed standard very, very soon. And that would be a good question to throw with the cards when that will happen. Because they're in position to do so. And anyone from India I've talked to, they love their gold. So they're all about the gold, man. So, and there's a reason for the more than just nice looking jewelry. They've been through this sort of situation before, and they learned their lesson from the past. So I think they are going to be going to a gold back standard. It's going to be very, very soon, probably in the winter time. It's going to be a shocker to much of the world. I think, little bird, about Turkey as well, hitching their little wagon to India, since they're fairly close proximity to one another. And they're going to be helping out there as well. So yes, they are going to be affected, but not as bad as other countries. Okay, thank you for that question. Do you think harvest time for cryptos will last till end of the year? I think so. Um, it's not going to be immediate. We're going to see signs of the crypto market changing. It won't be immediately, but it will be noticed if you're paying attention to the crypto market at that point in time. It's going to take time for the populace that's not into cryptos. You have to remember it's only 4 or 5% of us that are into cryptocurrencies around the planet to clue in and start to put their money into cryptocurrencies because it's a better store of value than fiat currency. So in that time period, you're going to start to notice things changing. It won't explode right at that moment in time. Okay, thank you, Bob. 3 cards for me. I plan to start working out again soon. I haven't done any heavy labor or weights for 7 years. I'm 45 now. What do the cards say? Please, will I be successful? It's, yeah, he'll be successful. He's got to lift the weight and then put the weight down, repeat. So let's just put that 3 cards down. Okay. I think it's not that working out is a bad thing for you. I think you need that companionship to go along with it. We got that friendship card, but it's upside down. So you may want to look into a workout partner. Okay. Just to keep motivated, or start it with a group class, just to help you out. I'm just picking up that you need that companionship of some sort. It doesn't matter who it is, a group, or Dark is saying something in the background. Hello, Dark.
Focus, Eddie. He's talking to me.
Oh, he's talking to the wife. Okay. Yeah, you can be successful if you put things in place to help yourself by a group activity. Probably be the best for you. I'm just picking up that you need that. Okay, thank you. I was also wondering how long do you see Litecoin going before it starts its ultimate rise? Hmm. Ultimate or ultimate? Here's degrees of ultimate. Um, the mini rise will be right after August, and then start ramping up after Christmas. Beyond that, it's going to be a continuous thing. We're still going to have those ups and downs like we normally do. That is the nature of the market. But I do see Litecoin going to those heights after Christmas and continuing from there, like everything else. Um, it's just not a one-stop shop thing. It's going to be a continuous cycle. Everything else has to fall into place, which it will, for the whole thing to start working as a whole. How low for Litecoin? Uh, of course, I look at it in Canadian, 45 Canadian, maybe. It's 60 something right now Canadian. So whatever that is in your currency, um, it's gonna do that, and then it's gonna go go up like crazy after that. Okay, thank you. Is Shiba Inu still on track to a penny by 2025? Possibly. um, this is the Shiba Inu question of the day. Okay. Now they put many things in place where that would be a thing. They put in NFTs, which is going to be disrupting everything on the Shiba Inu thing. They're having troubles behind the scenes with their platform. Um, I don't think it's going to reach that 2025. It's going to be very close, but not quite. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. If you were stuck on an island and could only have one coin to interact with the locals that wasn't in your top six, which coin would it be? Hmm. DGB comes to mind because it's easy to set up. If I'm stuck on an island, I want something easy to set up with the locals. I probably would go with the Digibyte. Okay, there you go. Thank you.
I think that's. We answered this one, didn't we? You asked it again.
Oh, you asked it again?
I think it was the same question, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is.
There you go.
Will Digibyte be a bug contender against XRP? Oh, big contender. Bugs. Okay. For XRP, they're not quite the same. Um, Digibyte is kind of its own thing. It has its own community. It has many good features to it. XRP is an entirely different animal. More of a banker's coin. Okay. It's controlled. I know XRP. It's not controlled. Yes, it is. I've done my research on that. If I had a choice, I would go Digibyte, just because that it's better community. Usually, they're a lot more fun. XRP is kind of stuff in bank-like. But a big contender, they're two separate things. Price-wise, I think XRP will be the bigger of the two because of how it's positioned itself in the market. Digibyte is for the local, regular Joe on the street. XRP but is more for the banking cartel. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. Oh, we're done. Ta-da!
You were reading on that, honey.
We're just having too much fun today. I'm always grateful for everybody that comes out. Just a reminder, we do lives here on Saturdays and Sundays at 10 a.m. Central and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m. Central. So make sure you mark down your calendar. If you like a personal reading with me, make sure you go to secondreadingsbyandre.com, where all that information is listed. If anything happens to my YouTube channel, make sure you go to secondreadingsbyandre.com, where I have a list of all the other places that I have my videos. So you don't have to miss a moment. Also, if you like to protect your cryptocurrencies in the best way and not having them on an exchange,
Calm down.
okay, we're calm. We have a link to our affiliate offer of Trezor. So make sure you go there, pick up a Trezor, and keep your cryptocurrency safe. Okay, so till Thursday, make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the future.